Karma has caught up with JLO as the poor performance of her This Is Me Now project has confirmed that her decades-old music career is finally over. In a viral movement, netizens have completely canceled JLO, and her downfall from grace is such a shock that it cost her $20 million from her fortune. She was even called out for lying about her childhood by a TikToker who went to the same school with her. What JLO intended to be a comeback ended up being the very thing that terminated her fame. After a decade away from the music scene, she returns with a project that's not just an album, but a movie, a documentary, and a tour all rolled into one. She probably thought she was Taylor Swift. Producers, streaming sites, and even Ben Affleck all advised her against it, but her mighty ego kept pushing her, Karma blindfolded her, and her Yes Ma'am team kept cheering her on. But what happens when the charts tell a different story? When fans are left scratching their heads, and when the very city that's part of your identity seems to turn its back on you? This is the story of the downfall and end of JLO's career after Karma dealt her a deadly blow for her diva attitude. She rose on the wings of humility as Jenny from the block, but crashed after she became too proud to even remember the block she came from. In this video, we're digging deep into the many reasons why JLO's This Is Me Now project flopped so badly that it signals the downfall and end of her music career. From her outrageous demands and notorious diva attitudes to her having lost touch with reality in the relatable Jenny from the block, we'll also look at how she's faking humility, forcing a happy ever after with Ben Affleck, and the reasons why she's facing backlash from residents of the Bronx, the same community to whom she owes her fame. From the staggering self-financed gamble to the unexpected tour cancellations and the Bronx backlash, we're unpacking it all. And trust me, you don't want to miss any of the juicy details, because this story takes twists and turns that no one, not even JLO herself, could have predicted. It all started with JLO thinking of ways in which she could immortalize her life story and tell the world about the greatest love story ever told. She was pretty convinced that the world would be interested in knowing the details of her problematic love life, as she divorced 4 husbands before finally settling down with the love of her life, Ben Affleck. She wanted to silence all the rumors and prove to the world that her marriage to Ben is similar to the fairy tale of Happy Ever After. So she came up with the brilliant plan of releasing an album, producing a movie, and creating a documentary. And as if that was not enough, she decided to add a pricey musical tour as well. She approached several movie production companies and streaming platforms, but they all declined the offer and told her that it was a bad idea since people were not into musical videos at this time. Because they were sure it was going to be a disaster, Jenny couldn't get a single penny in funding, but she was so determined to go ahead with this project that she decided to finance it with $20 million of her fortune. In case you're wondering, JLO is worth $400 million, so $20 million shouldn't be such a big deal for her. The interesting thing about the whole thing is that it wasn't just outsiders alone who told her that the project was a bad idea, but also the one person in the world who she claims is closest to her and the reason for which she's embarking on the project in the first place, Ben Affleck. Ben, being a veteran actor and producer, told her the bitter truth. But JLO listens to no one else except JLO. Speaking in an off-camera moment in the documentary, Ben warns JLO about the project, saying, "Making a movie with your own money is the most famous cardinal sin in Hollywood." But JLO didn't listen, even to her husband, like always, and the result was a shocker she didn't expect. Her album performed so poorly that it is rated by Forbes as the lowest charting title on the Billboard 200 of Lopez's career, after it barely made it to the top 40 upon its debut. But that's just the first punch. Her film also performed poorly, as it faced lots of criticism, with netizens generally saying they don't even understand the plot.
If you're curious about the plot, so am I. And I just watched it. It's a movie no one asked for.
As for the documentary, it is relentlessly being torn apart in viral TikTok videos and other social media platforms. But that's not the worst. As if chart struggles and the terrible movie reviews weren't enough, JLO's tour received the biggest blow. The tour faced reports of multiple tour date cancellations, painting a picture of low ticket sales and a disconnect with the audience. When JLO's team noticed that people weren't buying tickets for the tour, they decided to rebrand it from This Is Me Live to This Is Me Live The Greatest Hits. But despite the rebranding, her so-called greatest hits still couldn't get the tickets sold. It was recently reported that JLO had to cancel several shows, including shows that were supposed to take place in Nashville, New Orleans, Raleigh, Cleveland, Atlanta, Tampa, and Houston. Netizens are literally attacking the tour and pointing out how ridiculously pricey the tickets are.
Cheapest tickets they have is $79.95 for the JLO fan club presale.
Some of the tickets go for as high as $1,800, but that's even small if you want to sit beside the stage with a VIP lounge package that includes a meet and greet with JLo. That goes for as high as $6,700. In contrast to how pricey JLo placed the tickets, fans have taken to social media to express just how much they're willing to pay if JLo wants them to attend her shows. One fan says, "Most I'd pay to see JLo is $35. That's after the fees." Another fan who's even more considerate says, "I paid $500 for Renaissance, so no way will I pay more than $50 for JLo." And this leads to the discussion about how JLo has so much overestimated herself to the point that she thinks she's way better than Beyonce and Taylor Swift. The truth is, that's exactly what she thinks, and she had said so in the past. Fans have taken to TikTok in particular to tell JLo to stop overestimating her worth. They've said that if she wants to charge fans more than Beyonce charged for her Renaissance tour, then she's got to have as many Grammys as Beyonce.
You need to have at least this many Grammys to be able to charge that.
That is literally impossible because Beyonce's the artist with the most Grammy wins in history, with a total of 32 wins. Guess how many Grammys JLo has? None. Fans have also criticized JLo for getting jealous of Taylor Swift, who released an album and a film and embarked on a successful Eras tour. They've pointed out that while JLo has no Grammy whatsoever, her tickets cost so much more than Taylor, who's the artist with the most Album of the Year Grammy wins. But perhaps the most personal blow for JLo came from the Bronx, the very place that made Lopez instantly famous when she released her single Jenny from the Block from her studio album titled This Is Me Then. Her constant references to being Jenny from the Block have left many residents of the Bronx angry and irritated at her desire to try and seem like a relatable, humble celebrity. What's more, many Bronx residents have taken to social media to deny her claims of being from any block within the Bronx. There's this particular clip from her documentary going viral in which she ruffles up her hair while working out and claims that it reminds her of when she was in the Bronx as a kid running up and down the blocks, looking wild and free. But Bronx residents have denied this claim, saying no one in the Bronx would ever do that, even as a kid, that she's simply faking being relatable. There's a viral TikTok video of a lady who called JLo out for lying, as she confirmed that she went to the same all-girls Catholic high school as JLo. She even showed everyone JLo's yearbook picture and said she's not Jenny from the Block. Bronx residents have been asking JLo which block she lived in, but it seems JLo is still searching Wikipedia. JLo has also been caught lying about her Bronx roots in many other ways. In a clip, someone asked her to mention one popular expression that real New Yorkers would say. JLo instantly responded with "F you" as an answer.
Something else that real New Yorkers say.
F you!
But real New Yorkers have come out to say no one in their neighborhood would ever say that because the person will get jumped. Another thing that proves JLo's lying about the Bronx is when she talks about her bodega order, which she says she often ordered with an orange juice, and Bronx natives were like, WTF. No one does that. Essentially, JLo's been completely canceled by people from the Bronx, as they say she isn't from any of their blocks. The truth is, JLo keeps jumping at every opportunity to talk about her humble beginnings in the Bronx, when in fact, she's too proud to visit that same Bronx now that she's a celebrity. She likes to pretend that she's still Jenny from the Bronx, but did you know that she actually refused to shoot an advert in the Bronx? In 2011, JLo was paid for a Fiat car advert. The goal of the advert was to tap into her Bronx heritage, but the shoot had to be filmed entirely in Los Angeles because JLo refused to step foot in the Bronx. They had to use a body double for the Bronx filming. Speaking about why she never goes there, JLo once said, "I don't like going to the Bronx. It's a little, I like to stay away from there." But don't be shocked by this. This just shows us a small tip of JLo's pride. Throughout her career, JLo's been known for being super proud, as she considers herself better than everyone else. This is why many are accusing her of faking humility in her This Is Me Now movie. We have all of her diva attitudes and outrageous demands well documented in another video that talks about the reasons people hate her. One of the things JLo hates is people looking her in the eyes. She believes everyone is below her cadre and should therefore avert their gaze and look down. She also hates it when people, including her staff, backup singers, and dancers, talk directly to her. She once humiliated a flight attendant who made the mistake of speaking directly to her instead of through her personal assistant. The flight attendant simply wanted to know what she'd like to drink. On another occasion, JLo got a hotel maid fired after the maid asked for an autograph from her. The ironic twist was that JLo lodged in that hotel while filming a movie in which she was playing the role of a maid. Ugh. What about the viral clip of JLo spitting gum into her assistant's hand? So, if you're wondering why she's lost her loyal fan base and is now being accused of faking being relatable and humble, this is it. There are many other reasons why people hate her, which is why her downfall is not so surprising. The list is endless. But before we wrap it all up, let's talk about her star-snubbed movie. Names like Taylor Swift, Ariana Grande, Bad Bunny, and many more declined to appear in her This Is Me movie as they probably already knew what the outcome would be and the fact that they didn't want her to drag them down with her. A clip of the movie documentary shows JLo talking about stars she wanted to star in the movie, but several of them snubbed her. And this may have served her right because, like a fan commented, JLo feels a sense of entitlement towards the appearance of these stars in her so-called hit movie. One particular instance that has gone viral is when JLo asked for Drake Huff but is told he's having a wedding, but then she insisted that they call him. And fans are like, WTF is wrong with JLo? Should Drake cancel his wedding because you wanted to shoot a movie about your problematic love life? Another viral clip shows when she dissed Vanessa Hudgens as her staff asked her if she'd like them to call her too. But JLo responded with, for what? JLo obviously didn't consider her good enough to star in her movie. The end and total downfall of JLo seems to be getting closer than anyone could have ever expected after the colossal failure of her $20 million This Is Me Now project. The charts are low and several tour dates and locations are being canceled. She wanted to tell the world about a complicated love story with her Prince Charming, but that same Prince Charming, Ben Affleck, said no to the project just like many other producers and streaming platforms. But her team of yes ma'am people cheered her on since they dared not tell her the bitter truth. As Jane Fonda rightly puts it, JLo is simply trying to prove rather than live a happy ever after married life. To make the song and story appealing, JLo had to lie about the Bronx, pretend she's humble, and fake a lifestyle of marital happiness, which we all know is false. On top of all that, she overestimated herself, thinking she was better than Beyonce and Taylor Swift. She didn't know she already lost her loyal fan base a long time ago, and it all seems to be karma for her diva attitude.